Hey guys, Libby News here, and today I'm going to be making a video talking about the Danganronpa fan project Kill Cure and what exactly happened to it. So for those of you who don't know, Kill Cure was a huge fan project in terms of the support it received because it was a very ambitious one. It was one of the first really ambitious fan gans that I had seen in the fandom. The original trailer garnered hundreds of thousands of views. There was a ton of fan art and prediction videos made for it. I even made some videos myself, and it really sort of revived the fandom after it had fallen asleep for a bit post B3's release. Everything from the art to the music to the animations was just really top notch and made it really look and feel like a real Danganronpa game. So a lot of people, myself included, were really excited, but suddenly the project went dark with all of the original creators' accounts that held the trailers, summaries, and details vanishing overnight. This left a lot of people confused on what exactly happened and if the project was officially canceled. And that is why I am making this video today, to explain what exactly happened and to spread the word that the project is not canceled. The original creator Moboxer did leave the project, but many of the others who have been on the project from the beginning are still working hard to create it. So I'll be linking the team's new accounts in the description if you want to follow official updates for it. And so in this video, like I implied before, I'm going to be explaining what Danganronpa Kill Cure is, what happened to make it suddenly disappear, the new updates and details regarding it, as well as my opinion on them. And also want to say before I get into the meat of this video, please do not be rude to any of the people I talk about, whether that be people currently working on the project or those who have already left. I just wanted to bring awareness to the current state of the project and clarify what happened. I don't want anybody to get any hate because they left the project or anything like that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Kill Cure was a Danganronpa fan-made web series that was planned to debut on YouTube, specifically on Moboxer, the original creator's account. Production began back in 2017 and the first trailer was released publicly on July 26, 2018, which featured footage of the full cast in a class trial along with names and a full group shot. More information regarding the characters' personalities and the game's theme and story could be found on Moboxer's social media accounts, most notably his Tumblr page. This, along with his Twitter, was where I got all the information to make my character predictions video I made a few years back. The original summary released back in 2018 and read, 16 students and a homeroom teacher of Bidokukawa Academy find themselves in a school killing festival, where everyone has a good time until someone is killed. The story was set in its own universe and would be unrelated to the canon Danganronpa storyline. Also, the primary theme of the game would be virtue versus vice, rather than hope versus despair. It was also planning on following the original Danganronpa 6-chapter format, with each containing a daily life, and trial. It introduced some really interesting ideas that intrigued me, the main one being that the headmaster, Kokorosaru, besides being an adorable little monkey, he, unlike Monokuma, had a split personality, one that's kind to the students and insists that he hates the killing game, and then another one that activates only after a killing has occurred, and this one was described to be cruel and twisted. I thought this idea was really interesting because in Danganronpa, a vast majority of the murders are heavily inspired by the motive Monokuma gives at the beginning of each chapter. I feel like there'd have to be some really interesting developments and unique personalities to lead to killings every chapter without there being a clear motive given to divide them. For a while, the project progressed smoothly, casting voices for all the characters, releasing new illustrations, and new original songs. We also got some pretty amazing memes during this time, the chicken nugget one being the most iconic.
I don't eat them because they're shaped like dinosaurs. I eat them because they're fucking chicken nuggets!
Moboxer also uploaded a daily life teaser showing off various character sprites, backgrounds, music, voice acting, etc. It also included some fourth wall breaking dialogue. This was my favorite line. The project was originally scheduled to debut around December of 2018, but was pushed back to early 2019 due to its ambitious and complex nature. However, in December of 2018, Moboxer stopped development on the project, taking an unannounced 6-month hiatus, in which he left the Kill Cure Discord, stopped using any of the Kill Cure social media accounts, and ceased communication with the rest of the team and fans. On May 29th, 2019, he returned with a statement and an apology regarding the abrupt hiatus, and this was posted on the Kill Cure Discord server. He stated that he had fallen onto hard times for a period and that this caused him to lose excitement for the project. He continued stating that Kill Cure was not canceled and that moving forward he'd be handling the project differently, since he felt previously he was pushing himself and the team too much. Production resumed once again for about a year, but then Moboxer took another hiatus, this time a permanent one, and instead of abandoning his accounts, he deleted all of them, including Kill Cure's YouTube, Tumblr, and Twitter pages. He contacted 2 team members, Neshkwana and K Hearts, who worked closely on the project, to let them know about his departure and why he left. Later, on July 28th of 2020, he revealed a public statement saying it was due to the overwhelming pressure of the project that he wanted to depart. He did leave behind materials for the team to work with, like he mentioned in a statement, but they were widely unfinished according to the statement that they made. Dead. In their statement, it reads, "Sadly, the materials Moboxer left us were widely unfinished. There was no character backstory or personality documents, and only a page shortly summarizing the happenings in each chapter with a lot of gaps. That's why we decided to open private submissions to fill the writer roles and leave them as much freedom as possible to change up everything except for the general themes." Currently, the project has Natch Quano working as the main director of Kill Cure, and K Hearts working as the co-director. K Hearts handles the technical aspects, while Natch is in charge of the artistic direction and handles most communication with the team. Also, because of Moboxer's departure, the general story will now be taking some different paths, but is confirmed to still take place in a separate universe from Hope's Peak, and will maintain the Virtue Vice theme presented in the original summary. They also added some new themes revolving around seasons and Japanese tradition. The way they decided to incorporate it is through the setting, in which the participants find themselves on an island with their class, and in every chapter they will celebrate a Japanese festival befitting of the current season. Also, the new primary director Natch told me that they changed the storyline into segments, but even so, the project will still follow the traditional 6-chapter length, and although it's still a school killing game, they decided to make the characters older, and for the series to take place in a university rather than a high school environment, since this would allow the team freedom to include more mature themes. Right now, Crosspaw Games is the main writer, and if you're not familiar with them, they're the director and writer for Danganronpa Shattered Hope, another really ambitious fangame that I've reacted to and talked about a bit on my channel. I'd really recommend you guys check it out if you haven't yet. Believe me when I say the script was left in good hands based on what I've seen from Shattered Hope, and I think if you guys watch it, you'll kind of get an idea of what the writing will be like in Kill Cure. Originally, Haru worked on the project as a writer as well, which they announced in their original post, but they have departed around New Year's for personal reasons. Some other noticeable differences in the project since Moboxer's departure is that the team has been working on revising and updating splash art, character profiles, and designs. Notably, they've changed 2 characters' outfits as well for the sprites, this being the designs for Hiroki, the ultimate apprentice and protagonist, and Busho, the ultimate yoga guru. On Twitter, they stated it was to make their design fit their updated personalities better. They also have been working on adding more sprite expressions. Here's a sneak peek of what they've made so far. It's also worth mentioning that these aren't all the sprites, and they are still working on adding more emotions. The new team also released a video recently addressing the new character designs, while showing off a new location, sprites, and Hide's amazing art. Like I said before, the characters now have confirmed ages. It also states former ultimate on their character cards. It also seems like based on some of the character profiles, their personalities and backstories might be pretty different compared to the original. For example, in Hiroki Uzuki's original summary, it stated that he was the apprentice to his father, the headmaster of Bidokukawa Academy. It continues stating that his learning capabilities are unparalleled, but that he's also suffered memory loss upon being forced into the killing game. But in his new profile, it doesn't mention his father being the headmaster or his memory loss at all. Instead, the new profile fleshes him out a lot more than the original, describing his upbringing and motivations for excelling at apprenticeship. His character profile states, "A perceptive and encouraging young man with a knack for getting the job done. Hiroki is also known for getting riled up by those whose ideals clash with his own. Growing up rather poor with a father who was always work-oriented, who was only ever acknowledged warmly by his mother. After a shocking event tarnished the reputation of the Uzuki family, awful rumors began to circulate, causing a desire to fester within the youngest son to prove himself. Without a single talent he truly excelled at, Hiroki worked under many different employers, surprisingly adapting, improving, and catering to whatever was expected of him in extraordinary ways. His talent to excel at many tasks eventually culminated in him receiving the unofficial title of the ultimate apprentice by his peers. Though he could never be a master at any singular talent, Hiroki dreams of restoring the Uzuki family's honor." I really like this new bio for Hiroki. I think it makes him seem a lot more approachable and relatable. Before, he was just an apprentice to his dad, presumed a big shot, but in the revised version we see that instead of just being handed the title working under his dad, he became an ultimate by persevering so hard under so many teachers to restore his family name. I'm sure that even though he's an ultimate, he still has a lot of insecurities since he's still been unable to master any talents. I'm also curious to see what the shocking event that tarnished his family is. I'm assuming that it likely has to do with his dad since he's described as being cold. And like I said before, it doesn't mention his dad being the headmaster of Bidokukawa Academy like it did in the original one. So I wonder if that is the case or not. It mentions in his profile that he grew up poor, so I feel like if the father is still the headmaster, I could see Hiro being born from a fling between his parents who were never married. Or maybe if his father was previously the headmaster, then he was fired dishonorably and it was so bad to the point that he couldn't find any work after. But that's just my opinion on it. Feel free to let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Several of the other characters such as Hide, Ikki, Naomi, and many more get expanded on quite a bit more than they did in their original descriptions. Many of them seem to maintain the same overall personality personality based on the summaries. The one main difference from the original that I noticed though was Maru's. She's the former ultimate activist. The original one described her as someone who doesn't really know or care much about the issues she speaks on and just does it for attention, but her revised version describes her as actually being passionate about what she preaches, stating that she found a passion for standing up for the little man and making a change in society. It continues stating that after a tragic event, Maru became a standout powerhouse in her speeches, gaining a legion of followers, which gave her the confidence she needed to rise above the majority. Now equipped with her trusty megaphone in Bidokukawa Academy, Maru's voice will no doubt be heard. So I feel like this description implies a lot more depth to her character, while the first one made her seem like she was just going to be comic relief. I think it's just really nice to see that there is a deeper side to her and she's not just one-dimensional, and I'm really interested to know what the tragic event that happened to her was. But moving on, the characters all hold the same talents that they did previously, just now they're former ultimates. Their details such as age, weight, likes, dislikes have all remained the same for the most part too, with a few exceptions. They added an extra like and dislike for every character and removed some original likes and dislikes for Naomi, Maru, Yato, Manzo, Oniji, and Hide. As for updates regarding the project currently, at the moment they're working on the prologue, specifically focusing on the drawings, voice acting, and models for it. Recently they held auditions for a video editor and musician. Natch also told me that they'll be opening up voice acting roles soon, so be sure to keep an eye out for that if you're an aspiring voice actor. But as for my opinion, I still really love this project. It's still one of the fangans I'm most looking forward to, and I really wanted to make this video because I feel like a lot of people aren't aware of what happened to it and haven't seen the new updates and accounts for it. I was fangirling so hard looking at the splash art while making the thumbnail, like it just looks so good. All the character designs are just so memorable to me. Same with their personalities based off of their profiles. I really like how in depth they went with each character's stories and personalities in them too. I feel like I understand them a lot better now than I did before. And one of the other biographies that really stood out to me was Toya's. She wasn't one of the characters I was really like super interested in originally when the project was announced, but I became like way more interested in her after reading her new profile. For those of you who don't know, she is the former Ultimate Broadway dancer, and her profile states, after nailing her first performance in Waltzing in the Sunshine, Toya was praised by critics for stealing the show. However, her fame would only last until her 7th performance, where she tragically became partially deaf in both ears. Now known as a one-hit wonder, Toya seeks to do some self-reflection and improvement by learning in the famous Bidokukawa Academy as the Ultimate Broadway dancer. The idea of her career ending so abruptly and being known as just like a one-hit wonder is probably really difficult to overcome. Like Maru, her original character description made her come across as just comic relief, only mentioning her lack of hearing as an excuse to pretend she didn't hear certain things. But in this one, it really focuses on the difficulties that she has to go through because of her hearing loss. So I thought that was really cool. And after hearing about her tragically short career, I feel like there's a lot of room for her to grow through the self-reflection it mentions in her bio. Finally, I'm really loving Kokosaru's revised sprite and full Vice version of it. It kind of reminds me of a Heartless here. I do kind of hope his original personality stays the same, since like I mentioned before, I really like the idea of murders happening regardless of lack of incentive, since I feel like the circumstances around each murder could be really interesting if that's the case. But that's just my opinion on it. But anyways, this will conclude the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful. Like I said before, I'll be linking all of Killcure's social medias in the description if you want to check them out. Also, if you're interested in Danganronpa fan projects, there's some other really interesting ones I've been keeping an eye on. Firstly, there's Danganronpa F Shattered Hope, which is another fan web series that is currently on chapter 1 and has about 8 episodes released so far. It also has a playable side game called Cabin Confiding, which is described to be similar to Salmon Mode in V3. And like I said, across the main writer for it is also the new main writer for Kill Cure, so I think watching it could give you a good idea of how the story may be told in Kill Cure. Next, there's Danganronpa Dead End, which has a playable demo out that I'll link below. I did a quick playthrough of it on my channel and was really impressed by the atmosphere and the gameplay. I almost forgot it was a fan game while I was playing it. And then finally, there's Danganronpa Project Eden's Garden, which will be another playable fangan. There currently isn't anything playable at the moment for it, but there is a trailer that released a few months back and it looks amazing. I'll link it below for you guys to check out. Anyways, I just wanted to shout out these projects as well since I think they seem really interesting. And please let me know in the comments below if you do want more fangan videos. I'd love to make videos going in depth on the projects I just mentioned or others you might be looking forward to. So please leave a comment about any fangans that you'd be interested in me making a video on or checking out. I do eventually plan on reacting to Shattered Hope again. I'll probably end up streaming it instead of doing like a Let's Watch like I was doing before though, because honestly I just kind of prefer streaming better since it's a lot more fun to react to stuff alongside you guys. But yeah, this will conclude the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like or a comment and subscribe if you did enjoy it. It really helps me out. And thanks once again for watching the video, and I will see you guys real soon.